everybody, welcome back to Random Acts of Crafting, and I'm Kathy Champion, and thank you so much for joining me today. I've had a tremendous sale going on in my store, as many of you know, and I have sold quite a few of the Nuvo alcohol markers. These are the markers that come on a card, and they look like this. This is the Marina Blue. I have always been in love with these markers. I have used these markers probably for the last 2, maybe 3 years, and they are my go-to alcohol markers. I love them. If you've ever used alcohol markers, now I know that there's more expensive brands out there, but the reason I choose these is because of the price point and the fact they perform very well for me. So for those reasons, I love these and I use them all the time. And a special shout out and thank you to Bill and Tracy Phillips from Mindless Crafting. They have a YouTube channel and they also have a store. And Tracy actually used my Nuvo markers on one of her lives the other night, or the other day, and my sales from, y'all clean me out. I have a few sets left, but not a lot, but I do have more on order, so they will be coming back in. I just don't know with the pandemic how shipping is going to be and how what type of skeleton crews these companies are working. So we all just have to kind of be patient. But anyway, they are on order and hopefully I'll be getting those in. But I thought since I had so many people to buy these markers, I wanted to come on and kind of give you a demo on how I color. Now I won't say this is the right way or the wrong way. I'm just saying this is the way I do it. Okay folks, I'm back. I forget where I was at, so I'm going to back up a little bit. I got the stamp set, and this is from a May stamp set, and it is called, make sure that I tell you correctly, it is called New Creation, and it has this beautiful spray of flowers. Let me put something dark under it so you can see. It has that beautiful spray of flowers, and there's some beautiful butterflies and different things on there. It's a gorgeous stamp set. And what I did is I pulled the floral spray out, and I have it right here on my Misty. And I'm going to stamp that, and we're going to color it. And I'm also going to do this little elephant. Now this is a cheaper stamp set, and it's actually silicone. You can tell the difference with silicone because they pull, they're very rubbery, they're not like the photopolymer. But this is a really cute little elephant. We'll probably do him in the Misty as well because they just don't stamp well. So we will have to stamp that image a couple of times. Anyway, I am using my Nuvo hybrid inks because you want to use a dye ink and not a pigment ink. Pigment inks will, alcohol will cause them to run. So I do not use my VersaFine Clair or my VersaFine Black Onyx because those are dye inks. Now they're beautiful inks and I use them a lot, but for this I don't. I like my hybrids. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take this black shadow, and I have these inks in my store. If you're interested in picking up some of the colors, they do come in. It comes in the black shadow, it comes in the safari green, the poppy red, the acorn brown, the metro gray, and empire blue. And I love what they did. They put these stickers on the side, on the ends of, and it's on both sides, so that you can file these and you can see what color they are at a moment's notice. So, and those are on sale in my store, as is everything else, 25% off through April the 1st. You have until 11:59 April the 1st, 11:59 p.m. So at midnight April the 1st, the sale will go away. And I just want to thank all of you that have purchased from my store, and a shout out to Bill and Tracy Phillips from Mindless Crafting and their Mindless Crafting YouTube channel. Thank you so much for promoting my markers. They used them on one of their lives, and y'all just went completely crazy over my markers. And I just want to thank you all for ordering, and your business is so appreciated. I am a small business person. I don't make a fortune in my products. In fact, I probably have not even broke even this year at all. But I do enjoy it, and I enjoy crafting with all of you. Now that did stamp, but it's still a little bit light, and I want it to be very dark. So I am going to, and that's why I use the Misty, and any type of stamp positioner that you have will work. But yeah, I love my Misty. Like I said, this was an investment. Misties are not cheap, but they are so well worth the money. So I'm going to press that down really good. And I know that by doing this twice, I'm going to get a good image. The photopolymer stamps are so nice when it comes to that. Now that is gorgeous. Look at that. Okay. So I am going to take my cloth. I'm going to put a little squeaky clean on that. And again, as a reminder, I have these squirt bottles of squeaky clean in my store. Y'all cleaned me out on my refill bottles, but I do have that. And if you're interested in picking up a bottle, they are 25% off right now. So it's a great time to stock up, and that's why I called my sale the Stock Your Stash sale. You know, we can't get out. Many of us can't leave our homes to go to the store to purchase things that we might need. So most of us are relying on ordering. And so I encourage you, if you have not shopped at my store, head over and take a look and see if you find anything that you like. Okay, so I am going to pull this out. And I'm going to lay that up there, and I'm going to go ahead while I'm stamping. I'm going to stamp my little elephant. So again, I'm going to put another piece of paper in, put it in this corner, put my magnets on, and then I'm going to position my little, oops, I didn't get that down, did I? You always want to get it down to the bottom, and I always do it to the bottom right hand corner, and there. And I'm going to put my little elephant right there in the middle. Doesn't really matter, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to put him right there, or her. I think we'll make this a little girl elephant. Now, as you can see, these stamps do not stamp like a photopolymer. See what I mean? So you almost have to, and these are really super cheap stamps. I think 2 of these sets were like $9. So as that old cliche goes, you get what you pay for, and that is so true. So I might have to stamp this maybe 3 times to get the image that I need. And that's pretty good, so we're going to go with that. Alright, and I'm going to take my little cloth again, and this time I'm just going to spray some squeaky clean on the cloth, because I want to clean up my board, my Misty, as well as this stamp set, or this one will stamp. So I think that's good, and I'm going to lay that stamp right over here, so I can put it back where it belongs after the video. I always try my best to clean up after each project. I'm checking to make sure I don't have ink on my fingers. Okay, so I got those 2 images stamped out, and so now I think we can go ahead and pull some markers and color. And I think I'm going to start out with something simple. This image is a little bit more simple than the spray of flowers, and I wanted to do 2 things. I'm going to actually zoom y'all in. But I do want to tell you, do not look at my nails because I still haven't done them and they look horrible. I mean, absolutely horrible. Never has my nails looked this bad. I promise y'all I'm going to do them today. That is on my list of things to do. So as soon as I finish this video, I am going to sit down and I'm taking this polish off and I'm going to groom my nails really well and do a fresh coat of polish. Alright, what I'm going to do to color this, there is a thing of markers, and like I said, your markers come in 3, but with this elephant I need a lighter gray than it's in the Stormy Grays. This is my lightest gray in the Stormy Grays. Oops, wrong one. This is my medium, and then the dark is almost a black. These are called Stormy Grays. And to me, they are just a little bit too dark. I'm going to use this one and possibly this one. This darker one I am not going to use. Then I'm going to go to depths and shadows, and I'm going to pick the pale gray. Let's see if it's going to focus. There we go. And that's 485. And I'm going to start out with this color on my elephant. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, and all I want to do is just go around the edges and see how light that is. That's barely any color, but it is color. So when you are working with the alcohol markers, be aware that when you get too close to the edge of the paper, it will bleed. It will bleed off into your cardstock. So what I do to keep that from happening, I'm very light around my edges, around other lines that I don't want that gray to go into. You know, so just take your time and enjoy the process. And then places where I'm just putting down color, I do little small circles. That's what seems to work for me, is doing it in small circles. I'm going to come back up here. I didn't quite get enough of color right there. Small circles. And I'm going to just put some music on and let y'all listen while I color this in. We have our little elephant all colored in, and so now I want to take that lightest gray in my Stormy Grays, which is darker than this, and I am going to go in and I just want to shadow a little bit around the edges. Around the top of his head, I'm going to make his hair a little bit darker. Around the edge of his mouth. I'm basically going to trace most of his lines. I'm going to go in right here around his trunk, but I'm going to leave that middle open because I want to do a pink in that. So we're going to come down around here. And you know, anywhere that you might want some extra color, just dot it in, because we're going to blend this back out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to come back in with that light gray, the one that we used at first, and this is what we do when we blend. We're going to blend all these little dots and little lines. So that they don't look like lines at all. They look like depths and shadows. And that's what shadowing is. It's just learning how to put your color down and then how to go back and blend it out to make it look flawless. And see how that already gives him so much dimension, I guess would be the right word. And as you can see, it wasn't hard. It was just putting down a little extra color and going back and blending out the lines. And it's that simple. So anytime that you are blending, just remember to put in a little extra color and then blend it out with the lighter color that you had put down prior to that color. So now if we wanted to go even a little bit further, we could grab the medium color. This is the medium and this is 489. Get in the camera. 489. This is our medium stormy grays. And if we wanted to do a little bit more of shading, or just as lines, just little wrinkles. And I'm going to blend in all of this. And this is what will make it look seamless. And there's our cute little elephant. And I think she turned out very, very cute. Now we need to do a little bit of details. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these markers back where they belong. I do have a Nuvo storage marker stand, and those are in my store. They work wonderful for your markers. You can keep them in the color family. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab my pinks. These are the rosy pinks, and I grabbed 449 and 451. This is the lightest and the medium, and I'm going to go in with my lightest color first. And I am going to go inside her ears. And I'm going to put down a good bit of that pink. I'm just going to saturate really well. just like that. I'm trying to make sure I'm keeping this in camera frame for all of you. So I'm going to do the same thing here on her foot. And you know, I know that elephants, the bottom of their feet are not pink. Their feet. Did y'all hear me? Y'all hear my bad English? Their feet. But this is my elephant, and if I want her ears and her feet to be pink, then I'm going to make them pink because I think it's cute. Alright, so now I'm going to use this darker shade of pink, and I am just going to highlight around. Just like that. And then I'm going to take this lighter one, and I'm going to go in pretty quickly and just blend that out. Just like that. It leaves a little lightness in there, but not real bad. Now this one we're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to go in and blend it. And we're going to do the same thing in here, but this one I'm going to go into the center, the darker. So it looks like the center of her feet are dark. And then I'm going to go back with the lighter, and I'm just going to blend it around. Now you might ask, when do I mix markers? And I'm going to show you exactly when I mix markers. When I have little tiny places here, oh, I forgot, I'm going to use this darker pink, and I'm going to go in right here on her trunk and color that in pink. When I have a very small area like her toenails, I want them to be a pretty pink. And let's see, I think this is a pretty shade. And this is where I'm going to use the Tombows. So I do mix my markers. The reason I don't like Tombows for doing a solid thing like this, the paper gets too wet because these are water-based. The alcohol evaporates very quickly. I do want to forewarn you though, if you're using alcohol markers of any kind, put something under your surface because they do bleed through. But as you can see, I came in and I put down this Tombow, and this is 743. And I just wanted a nice little hot pink there on her toes. I thought that would be so cute. And I also want her to have some very, very pretty blue eyes. So I think for that I'm going to use 476, I'm sorry. And I am going to go in right here . And I'm going to make her eyes blue. Now I love the way that turned out. I think it's so super cute. This is a little elephant that we could put on any card and be so proud of it. So I hope y'all enjoyed watching me color that. I am going to go back in with this lighter, or the lightest of the Stormy Grays, because this just looks like it needs to go over just a little bit more. Top of her ears. And then I'm going to come back and blend it out with that lighter. And all I'm doing is pulling the color. If you notice, it just pulls the color. It just pulls it down. So it blends it out. And I love the way that looks. I did notice that it didn't come down quite enough right there with the color. So you know, the good thing with this is you can always go back after you finish. And you can look at it and you can say, wait a minute, it needs a little something else. It needs a little something else. And you can always add more to it. But I think she is good to go right there. So we're going to go with that. And the next thing we're going to do is I am going to pull over this beautiful floral ray. I love this. I think it's so gorgeous. And I am going to pull out some different colors. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with this rose right here. And I want this rose to be almost red. So I'm doing my rosy pinks, but I'm grabbing the two, I'm going to zoom y'all back out a little bit so you can see a little better. I'm going to grab the two darker shades, which is the medium and the darkest, 451 and 453. I'm going to go in first with my my medium color. Since it's my lightest color, I'm going to go in first and I'm going to color all of the petals, just the petals. And I'm even going to get around into the tightness here. And this is probably the easiest part of doing the alcohol markers, because you're just getting in there and laying down a base of color. It's sort of like priming your walls when you're going to paint your walls. You always got to put some primer down before you actually put your color on to help the paint to adhere and so you can see the true color. So now that I've got that down, I am going to grab the medium, or the darker pink, I'm sorry, the darker pink, and I'm going to go here in the middle and I'm just going to swirl it out like that. I love that. And I'm going to go out here and just grab a couple of these places where there may have been a little extra color still left from the middle. And then I'm going to go back again, remember, with the lighter shade, and I'm going to blend that all out. Okay, so now that rose is done, and I am going to go ahead and put my pink back. And I think for this one, I want to make him yellow. So I am going to grab my, I think I'm going to grab all three of the yellows. I'm going to start with my lighter one, which is 401. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to put yellow down. And that looks pretty good. So then I'm going to come in with the next darker color. And I'm going to put some depth on on the leaves. I'm going to go into the center. I'm just going to make sure that we darken that up quite a bit. And then I'm going to come back with that lighter shade. And we're going to blend it out. And then I'm going to grab that darker shade, which is 405, and I'm going to go back into the middle. We're just going to swirl. I'm going to put a little bit of edging on the leaves, on the petals. And then I'm going to use that middle color and go back in and just kind of, oops, blend that out. Now that is a beautiful golden yellow rose. So now I'm going to go ahead and put these back into my pen holder. Storing the alcohol markers, you want to always store them in a vertical position. Never stand them on end like this. So don't store them in a jar where they're sitting up. You always want to keep them laying down. That's the reason this Nuvo pen holder is so perfect. And let me show you what I'm talking about. The top one I have is just mixed markers, but the two here are my, let me zoom you out so you can see this. This is how my markers sit on my desk, and you can see they stay in this very vertical position, but they're angled in just a little bit, but yet they stay. And this pen holder was made for these markers. You can stand them like this on your work surface, or you can do them like I do, and that's lay them down like that. And I keep mine like this, and I have each color family in a row from the lightest to the darkest. So light, medium, dark, light, medium, dark. And they sit on top of each other. This one I just have some random markers in it. I have my Nuvo glitter markers and just some different markers up in here. But you can see they've got feet that grip so they won't fall over. So they're very sturdy. And I love the way they sit on my desk, and I love how versatile these are. And I do have these storage containers in my shop. They are 25% off until April the 1st, so another good time if you need a storage system for your markers. This would be perfect. Also, for any of you that bought markers, or even if you didn't buy markers, if you would like this Nuvo alcohol marker color guide, email me at Kathy@randomactsofcrafting.com and request it, and I will send it to you via email. And then you can print this out on your printer, and then these are all empty circles, and then what you can do is you can fill them in with your markers as you get them. It works really good. It's a good reference point. They have not released the new one for 2020, but these are two new colors, the Flamingo Pinks and the Emerald Seas. I put Emerald Greens, but it's actually Emerald Sea. So let me make that correction. Emerald Seas. So this way, at a glance, I can pull these two papers and see exactly what markers that you have, for one thing, which for me, I have them all right now, because I have been using these markers for, like I said, 2 to 3 years, at least 2, if not 3, and I love them. So if y'all want one of those color charts, please email me and I will get you one out in the mail. Now this rose right here, I'm going to do purple because I want a purple rose bush. I just really do. I love purple. I think it's a very pretty spring color, and something about the purple and the green is just stunning to me. So I'm going to do a little, this is something I do real often. That's my lightest. And I'm doing a little color check. This is the medium one, and I think this is the one I'm not real crazy about that one. And then this one, I think I'm going to go with this one, and this one's out. So we are going to use the lightest and the darkest. And I might pull some other colors in. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this lighter color. Put my scratch of paper over. And I'm going to color all of this opened rose purple. Isn't that a beautiful, gorgeous shade of lilac? A deep, beautiful lilac. I love that. You know, if we didn't do anything else to this rose but just leave it as is, it would be stunning. But we're going to do a little bit more because we're going to have some depth and shadows on this. And we're going to do that by using that darker shade, and I think it's going to be gorgeous. Okay. think the rest of this is, no, there's a petal. Make sure you get all the petals. Anytime you're coloring a flower, you want to make sure that all of your petals are completely colored in. And you can just about shade with these if you went back in and did darker around it, but it does work really good if you come in. Now I'm going to come in, the first thing I'm going to do is darken it up in the middle, because we know that's going to be darker. I'm going to make a little darker here and there. Wherever there's some little lines that you can put in some darker. Just like that. We're just going to just go in and get a little bit of depth of color here and there. And then we're going to go back and blend that with that lighter color. And see how that just pushes the color a little bit, because alcohol moves alcohol. So that's why alcohol markers blend so well, because you can move the color with the other pen. You know, there's no right or wrong way to do this. It's whatever works for you, but look how beautiful that rose is. Let me zoom you in a little bit more so you can see. What do y'all think? Isn't that beautiful? Now I still have this little rosebud up here, and I want this rosebud to be red, and my absolute favorite shade of red is one of the Tombow markers, and this is 856. 856, and it is my favorite shade. So I am going to go in and I am going to put the top. Now this is me blending my markers. I am blending color, but I'm also blending my markers. So look what I'm going to do. I am going to go in just like that. And remember, I use that hybrid ink, so we can use both alcohol and, now I'm going to go back in with a dark pink or the lighter red, and I'm going to blend that out. So let's see, which red do I want to use. I love this plum tomato. This is $3.75, and I think the plum tomato is in the coral reef shades. And so I am going to go in now, and I'm just going to color in what was left. What do y'all think? Is that not gorgeous? So don't be afraid to mix your markers. You can mix your markers. There's no rhyme or reason. And let me show you. I'm going to come in with this darker green, and I'm going to do the stem, this green that's going to come up and wrap around our rose. I'm going to do that green right there and bring that stem down. Now I am going to do the rest of my, because I am trying to teach you how to use alcohol markers, so I don't want to go completely Tombow, but I just wanted to let you know that you can come in with different colors. Now this is Pillow Mint, and this is Spectra Green and Natural Patina. So I'm going to go in with some of these colors first, and I think I'm going to leave the Pillow Mint out, and I'm going to go Natural Patina, and I'm just going to start coloring some of these leaves. And I'm just going to go over here and there and put some green down. Because I want all this to have different shades of green on it. So I'm not going to commit myself to one certain color. And what I'm going to do is I'm working with these. I'm going to try to keep my color families together so that it's easier for me to put these back up. So I know these are my purples, so they're going to go back in here. Now I'm going to grab my woodland greens and I'm going to go in with 413. And again, I'm just going to go over here and there, putting down some of this color. And some of these leaves, I'm just going to go in and highlight the middle of them. And then we're going to come back and put a different color on them. And I think it's so nice with leaves if you kind of do them different and different colors on the same leaf, because we know how nature is. It's all different beautiful shades of color. So, and greens are so like that. You know, they're definitely not flat. This is 17, so I am going to do that, and then I'm going to go in with the lighter shade, 413, and we are going to blend this out. And let's do lighter here. And I'm also looking for other shades of green. I have, this is I think wildwood moss. This is the organic greens. So I'm going to come in with some of that. I think this is what gives anything that you're coloring like this, it gives it so much depth if you use different colors. I know when you paint, you do that. You have all these different variables of color that we blend in. And look how pretty that leaf blended. Now who would have thought that those two colors would have went so well together? Now they're not even in the same family of green. So, you know, don't be afraid to experiment with your markers. And in the families of colors, yes, you know that they can blend, but step outside those families and try something a little different. You may be surprised how much you will enjoy how it turns out. So I am going to put that one back there because I know it goes there. And I am going to grab, here's some more greens. This is 416 and this is vine leaf. How appropriate. And see, it's even a different shade than what we've been using. So all these different shades of green are so pretty, especially when you use them together. So I'm going to leave that middle open because I'm going to go back and put this 413 in here. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to blend it out with this. And if you see what I'm doing, I'm kind of jumping around with my colors. And the reason for that is I want to make sure that I'm getting color everywhere. And I think this is another petal onto that rose. So I want to make sure that I did not get my petal. I think this right here is a petal on the yellow one. So I'm going to go in. Did I bring out my pink? Oh, pinks are here. So I'm going to grab this medium shade. And I think that's a petal. Yeah. As you start putting your leaves in, you'll be able to better see exactly what colors are what. So now I'm going to grab this brown because these little berries, I want them to be brown. I don't know why, but they just scream. And I'm using the natural browns, and this is the latest color. It's 461, one of my favorite brown colors in the Nuvo Markers. I love this brown. I'm not even going to add dimension to those. I'm not going to try to do any blending on those. I think they're perfect just the way they are. Alright, I am going to come back in. I think I'm going to do this mint green. Just like that. And then I'm going to get a little bit darker, just like that over there. Let's see, which one did I pull? I think it was this one. I think I'm going to try this one. I just really want some different shades of green just being pulled all through this. And I'm also going to leave a little bit of the white. Give me just a second. It said I had motion at my door. So it's probably one of my neighborhood cats that shows up real often. How pretty. And I think we are done with that. And what do y'all think? How do you think that turned out? I think it is simply gorgeous. You can see how I blended colors, how I used all the different colors on the leaves. And you can cut this out. I have one here that I did. It's a little bit different, but I cut this And I didn't cut, I did what's called a bubble cut. I just kind of cut around everything. Anytime that you have all of this detail, don't try to cut it out completely. When you fussy cut, do what's known as a bubble cut. Just cut kind of around it. And you can put this on a card and it will be gorgeous. So now I have 2 of these. I just have to cut this out. And I have this gorgeous little elephant. And Maymay has an elephant stamp set too. And look at that little bow. I am going to grab that bow because I want her to have a bow. I think her needs a bow. And we are going to stamp her little bow. Let's see. And get a little tiny stamp block. And I am going to dab this in some VersaFine because I'm going to use my Nuvo to color this. I mean, not Nuvo, but I am going to put her bow. And I'm going to get this out of the camera view just for a moment so that I can get my head over it. So I can get her bow exactly where I want it. Okay. It didn't stamp as well as I would have liked, but that's okay. I'm going to show you how I'm going to fix it. I am going to grab my fine tip Sharpie, and I am going to use my paper to make sure that I've got a good mark on it, and I am going to go over this. When it's something simple as a bow, you can usually go back over it with a Sharpie or any type of fine tip pen that you have. And I am going to use this beautiful red, oops, wrong one. And I'm going to color her bow in red. Now, is that not the most adorable thing ever? I think she turned out so stinking cute. And I love it. I love the little bow on her head. I love her shadowing and her shading. I think she's gorgeous. So, I hope that y'all learned something today from this tutorial on how to use your Nuvo markers. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And I hope that you enjoyed what I did here with my Nuvo markers. I love them. I hope that each and every one of you that have purchased these markers from me or anyone else, that this tutorial will help you. I do have more markers coming in, so if you are missing colors that you want to finish your collection, by all means, keep a lookout on my store. I will make an announcement here on YouTube when my shipment comes in and let you know that I'm restocked. If you're in need of some other products, I have a lot of stuff over there in my store. Go take a look. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and what a great time to shop for things that you've been on your wish list. Like I said, it's Stock Your Stash sale, so I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you for supporting my channel, supporting my business, shopping at my store, loving my videos, and most of all for loving the message that I like to give to each and every one of you every time I come on. I just want to share with you the love of God, because Jesus is awesome. He loves you more than you can ever imagine. And if you don't know Him as your personal Lord and Savior, I invite you today to find a quiet place and just ask Jesus into your heart. Ask for forgiveness of your sins. Ask to have the blood of Jesus to wash over your soul and your being. And ask God to be with you, to send His Holy Spirit to comfort you and to abide in you. And I'm here to tell you, He will do it. And your life will change if you turn your life over to Him. I won't say that everything will be perfect. We don't live in a perfect world. But you will have the strength through Christ Jesus to get through any obstacle that's thrown your way. So God bless each and every one of you. And in parting, I say, let everything you do and say bring glory to our Father in heaven. He is so worthy. God bless you and keep you always. I love you. Bye-bye.